All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm gonna make this one nice and quick. I know I say that every time. We're gonna try and actually make this one nice and quick because it's 11:29 and I'm supposed to be out of here in 1 minute for the day. Weather's a little busy today, I guess, compared to last week. Hope everybody got out and enjoyed the weekend. It was gorgeous, spectacular, and sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and temperatures in the 70s in the afternoon. But nice, cool start. You know what I mean? It wasn't too humid. It wasn't too sticky. Changing a little bit today. We woke up the temperatures in the 60s. That's all ahead of a cold front. Here's the big picture kind of showing you what's going on. Nice big area, low pressure coming up through the midsection of the country. It's heading in this direction. So the core of, or the worst of the weather is kind of going to stay off to the north and west today. But tomorrow, the cold front that kind of trails off in this direction. Well, sort of tonight, tomorrow. Very late tonight, like bedtime tonight, into the early morning hours of tomorrow. That cold front's going to approach, and it could come with a little bit of a punch here in the region. I'll show you why here in just a minute. But as you can already see, lots of clouds kind of closing in on our region today. Closer view shows maybe some sunshine breaking out for a couple locations. Let me go in a little closer here. Let's go take this region here, and you can see just down to the south of here. So here we are in DC, right there in the X, and you see there's a little bit of sunshine breaking out down here, which would help break us into the 70s. We're forecasting middle 70s today because all of this, I mean, you can see the clouds all kind of surging up from the south. There's a big southern push of warmth coming relative to this time of year, coming our way today. So again, kind of preparing for that. Here's kind of what the latest expectations are storm-wise. You know what, I'm going to change this model. Let's go to the meso scale. And we'll kind of time it out for you. It looks like almost like something you'd see in the springtime, but I think it's more showers than thunderstorms. It's hard to get lightning and thunder this time of year. We're dealing with a lot of cold air above our heads, which usually limits the thunderstorm activity. But rolling forward, you see this nice sharp, it does look like it'll be a sharp line of briefly heavy showers coming towards us during the overnight hours. Now, this is 8Z, which if I do my math correctly, sometime this model's saying about 4 in the morning or so, I believe is what it is. Let's see, 8Z, 12 is 8 a.m. So minus 4, that's 4 a.m. So sometime between, I like the hours of 10 and 2. Our model here in Fox was kind of saying 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. would be the time to watch here in DC. I like that timing a little better, but this is the latest model from the North American. Regardless, it's mostly a late evening overnight event for when these showers do come through, which should help limit the lightning and thunder, but they could be quite heavy as they come through. They got some moisture to work with. We had a lot of fog, which is indicative of all the moisture we have in the region. We had a lot of fog this morning. And again, as the front kind of taps into that moisture as it comes through tonight, some heavy showers certainly possible. One thing of note is that the Storm Prediction Center did put us in a marginal risk for severe weather as this thing comes through. It's more kind of tonight and tomorrow. Not so much. They always outlook a little bit for tornado, but wind would be the biggest concern. Not concerned about hail at all. We're kind of past the hail season. Big reason why is this guy right here, little low-level jet kind of coming through. And let me see if I can get into the mesoscale analysis with this model. Yeah, so we have a little, and we're just above our heads. I'm going 850 millibars for the weather geeks out there, but for those that are not, just know that that's a little bit above our heads in terms of the atmospheric level. So we're going up, and I'm showing you winds here. So kind of the darker the reds and the purples, the stronger the winds. I mean, that's 64 knots plus in the purple there coming through above our heads as we head into the overnight hours tonight. We call this low-level jet, little low-level jet streak crossing the region today. Reason this is important is even though these winds are above our head, if you get a heavy enough shower, a heavy enough downpour, you can kind of grab some of these winds and pull them to the surface. So this is why there's the outlook for severe weather tonight, is because when you have this amount of winds coming through right here, if you get one of those heavy showers that pushes it down, you could wake up to a little bit of storm damage tomorrow. And then isolated. I think it's going to be isolated, not widespread here. We'll watch, we'll wait, we'll see. But that is the concern. So I do want to mention that maybe later on tonight, if you're living D.C., Maryland, Virginia, even up towards Pennsylvania, if you're going to bed tonight or if you're sleeping tonight and you wake up to suddenly some wind hitting your window or maybe even some lightning and thunder, no surprise there. It's totally possible with the level of winds coming through just above our head. Should be quick. It looks like a nice sharp line, hour or two, and then things are getting better. Not even an hour. Within an hour or two window, you're going to have like a 30-minute period where this thing's going to blow on through relatively quickly. And it's going to usher in a first drier air mass and then eventually a much cooler air mass as we get towards the middle of the week. Tomorrow's still warm, and I'll explain to you why in just, I'll kind of do it now. Because of where the storm system is, and if you're losing track of things here, I'm rolling you into tomorrow kind of late morning right now, but the storm is way up here. Hopefully it's behind my picture, so let me take my little picture off here, and so see where the storm is right there. I'm circling it in red. That's where your storm center is. You're still going to get winds out of the west and southwest, and remember, in this region of the world, you have the mountains kind of right here, and when you're blowing wind down off the mountains out of the southwest direction, you're getting a little bit of a downslope, which is a little bit of compression of the air as it comes down the mountains. That's a warming effect. So as long as you're getting that, you're gonna have a warm day here in the DC region. It's not winter time yet. Even in the winter, you'll get a mild day like this. But this is not a cold air storm. It's a warm air storm coming up from the south. So that's going to bring in, with those winds coming out of the south, turning still out of the south and west tomorrow afternoon, that is going to keep things on the warmer direction here. That's going, and I'll bring myself back into the picture here, that's going to change as we head towards the middle of the week for a reason you might not think of, and that is typhoon season over in the Pacific. This is something we always have to watch for late October, November. Recurving typhoons, as we like to call them, because they're recurving. They're going from low latitudes to high latitudes here. This is what's left of Typhoon Lan. I believe it's still a typhoon this morning, but it is a weakening one as it made landfall in Japan, I believe, last night. And it's heading, again, low latitudes down here. It's taking this northeast turn off into the high latitudes. And when typhoons do that, they kind of help, and you'll have to get your bearings here. Let me kind of help you do that. So I have to kind of get my bearings here as well. So there's Alaska, Russia, Japan. Japan, I believe, is right here. So you can kind of see this stuff that has to do with the typhoon activity. Watch as I roll things forward here, and I have to get rid of this first before I can do it. Watch as I roll this thing forward, how we're initiating a nice trough thanks to these typhoons that are coming north. You're getting a nice trough of low pressure kind of in this region out towards the edge of the Aleutians. When you build a nice trough in that location, you're going to build a nice ridge up into the western half of the United States. Hopefully everybody can see this. All that red, we're above our heads, by the way. All that red is a nice ridge up across the western half of the U.S. That's why they're looking at kind of record warmth for these baseball games. I know they got the game in L.A. World Series tomorrow, and they're looking at 90-degree temperatures for it, I believe. That's one of the reasons why, is you're getting a nice ridge there across the southwest. But at the same time, look at the blues coming down across the eastern half of the country. So you're getting a nice push. Whenever we have it, it's pretty well correlated too. Whenever you have these typhoons kind of curving up to the north and then back to the north and east, in the East Pacific, you're building a trough out there because there is low pressure. You're going to enhance the troughing, which is going to be reflected in the stronger ridge in the west, and that's usually extended up into Alaska and Western Canada, which then correlates to a ridge in the east. Back 2013, 2014, we had a whole bunch of these, and November was cold, cold, cold because of these recurving typhoons. We have, believe it or not, another one. That's Lan. We have another one developing just behind Lan, which is still kind of in its infancy here. But it's expected to do the same thing. It's developing in this region. It's going to go up. This one's probably going to miss Japan just off to the east, but regardless, if it gains enough strength and it turns its way off to the north and east, that's likely going to lead to another cold shot for us here in the mid-Atlantic states. Well, here, not just mid-Atlantic, the eastern half of the United States, as we head into your end of October, early November time period. So let me see if I can push this forward. I'll push this forward. See, there's your, right there. I'm pointing as if I'm on the green screen here. But right there, there's your next typhoon kind of getting its act together there. And now watch as it curves north. You get an enhanced trough almost in the same place, which gives you a little bit of an enhanced ridge over Alaska / the western half of the United States. And look at all the blue you see here across the eastern half of the U.S. So, and that's, let's see, that's November 1st. That's the morning of November 1st, so just after Halloween Eve. Halloween could be a little chilly. Night of Halloween for the kids out there, it could be a little chilly here in the mid-Atlantic region. Here's temperature anomalies. You can kind of see it coming. We're super, not super warm, but relative to normal today. We should be mid-60s. We're going to be mid-70s, so we're still on the warm side of things today here in the mid-Atlantic. But watch as, so we, remember I mentioned the recurving typhoon Lan. That's happening as we speak, which means cold is on the way. And watch this, whoop. There we go as we head into your day on Wednesday. Tomorrow's still warm. That's Tuesday. This is Tuesday afternoon. We're still kind of right on the edge of it. You got the warmth, you got the cold spilling in west of the Appalachians, but because of the wind direction, we'll stay warm on the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains. But then as we get into your day on Wednesday, that cold air finally kind of invades and makes it across the mountains. Then we're chilly for your day on Wednesday and even your day on Thursday before things kind of get a little milder towards the weekend. But then remember, typhoon number 2, which isn't named yet, will recurve. And look at that next cold shot coming down. You head in towards Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then kind of reinforce there as we head into the first week in November there. So look for October to end chilly. I think we're going to get a warm-up Friday, Saturday here. We might do 70 degrees again on Saturday afternoon ahead of our next cold front. But look for your October to end a little on the chilly side for Halloween, and then November to start chilly. But then it's all about, you know, do these typhoons keep up, right? You can't long-term kind of forecast that stuff. So that's something we kind of have to watch going forward. If we have more typhoons, we could do more of these cold shots into November. But if things go quiet, as honestly the long-term guidance tends to suggest things will go a little quiet there, we may not have so many recurves. We don't have any recurves. Things may mellow out and kind of get a little bit more mild. Not super warm, but more seasonable to mild as we head through the course of November. Right now, I don't see any strong cold signals towards the Thanksgiving. I mean, it's far away. We're a month away from Thanksgiving. But right now, I don't see any strong signals, honestly, in either direction that say super warm or super cold. So I would expect more of a seasonal Thanksgiving. But again, we need more time. Let's figure out what weather features we're dealing with then. All right, so that's that. Let's move on here to, I think I already did that. Again, a different look at what's going on for this week. You got the jet stream coming down. There it is during the day on Wednesday. That's what's really going to usher, because tomorrow we get the storm through early in the morning, but the jet stream action's still way out here in West Virginia. Your cold air is going to be behind the jet stream, and that's what's coming in as we get into your day on Wednesday. So even though the front passes late tonight, tomorrow morning, the cold air itself isn't going to get here until really tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. That's when the coldest. Tomorrow will be breezy, by the way, if you're watching from the D.C. area. Last thing I want to hit real quick is, of course, the tropics. We're still watching them. We got a month left, a little over a month left of hurricane season here, and we are starting to see some climate signals. I think I warned you guys about this last week that we have to watch this area here. That's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing more and more thunderstorm activity pop up, and the National Hurricane Center now has a 40% risk. Let me scoot that up so everybody can see it. You're dealing with a 40% risk of getting a development here over the next 5 days. They're not seeing anything in the short term, not within the next 3 days, but perhaps within the next 5 days, we're going to see something pop up here. Some good news for those watching in the Gulf, or for those concerned about the Gulf, is that it's likely, right now we're in sort of an active pattern, so we're going to have over the next 2 weeks or so, several of these cold fronts dropping through the eastern half of the United States. That's good news for those that don't want a U.S. landfall or don't want anything down there getting into the Gulf, because these storms that they do almost have to trend north, but they do trend north. And then if they run into one of these cold fronts, they tend to get pushed east. So hopefully everything, right now the way things look like they'll link up is it looks like whatever develops in the Gulf over the next 5 days or so will get grabbed by one of these fronts, likely the one on Saturday coming down and picked up and go out. But we'll see. We won't know the exact answer there until A, something forms so we know exactly where it is, and then B, where it is relative to that cold front coming down, whether or not the energy would be enough to grab it. we won't know that until a little later on this week. So just keep your eye on it. That's what's happening in the weather world this week. More busy than it was, or busier than it was last week, that's for sure. But we're keeping an eye on things. Winter weather outlook. I'm tried to keep it short today because I've been busy trying to type this thing up. I'm hoping to have it all typed up tomorrow so that it can go into editing and we'll be ready to launch Wednesday or probably Thursday. Yeah, hopefully we get a better winter snow-wise than last year. Do I know what we're going to forecast? Yes, I do know what we're going to forecast, but no spoilers. You have to come back on Thursday and we'll kind of explain it all. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Again, any questions, you can find me on, let's see, let's get them snow days. Are we getting snow, Mike? Hey, Austin, what's up? I hope we're getting, look, I want snow days just as much as the rest of you, even though I have to work regardless. It's fun to cover snowstorms. I want a snowstorm. I can't promise it this year, to be honest. You'll see more details coming on Thursday. We'll do the winter outlook. Is this going to be one of the snowiest winters on record? Probably not. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. More details on the winter on Thursday. We'll do this again tomorrow and just kind of update things and see where we are with everything. But other than that, have yourself a great Monday. And yeah, that's it. Watch out for those storms tonight. That's all I got. Take care. Have yourself, again, a great afternoon.